A national education scorecard from Harvard, Stanford, and Dartmouth finds kids have been falling behind in reading since 2013, and only 5 states have meaningfully improved. New data shows college-educated dads cut their paid work hours by 6 per week and added 4 hours of childcare since 2019, the biggest household labor shift in 2 decades, and a study of 76 million American children finds 11 million of them had a family member criminally charged in the last 5 years. Every day the news cycle produces roughly 1,000 stories. About 6 of them are about politics, and that's all anyone is paying attention to. I went looking for the rest. This is News Side Quest. Researchers at Harvard, Stanford, and Dartmouth just released a national education scorecard, the most comprehensive analysis of U.S. student test scores in years, and the reading results are worth paying attention to. The researchers analyzed state test scores from 3rd through 8th grade across more than 5,000 school districts in 38 states. What they found in math was mostly encouraging. Almost every single state saw meaningful improvements from 2022 to 2025. And student absenteeism declined in most states. Reading, however, is a different story entirely. Only 5 states plus Washington, D.C. had meaningful growth in reading scores from 2022 to 2025. Nationally, students remain nearly half a grade level behind pre-pandemic reading levels. And here's the part that reframes the whole conversation. Reading test scores have been falling since 2013 for 8th graders and 2015 for 4th graders. The decline predates COVID by a few years. As one researcher put it, you wouldn't really know there was a pandemic effect if you just looked at the last 10 or 12 years of test scores. There's been just a steady kind of decline. So what's going on? Researchers are still debating the causes, but 2 factors keep coming up. One is the rise of social media and smartphones. Kids are reading less for pleasure, and pleasure reading is closely linked to reading proficiency. The second is instructional. States that improved reading scores, Louisiana, Maryland, Tennessee, Kentucky, and Indiana, all had one thing in common. They mandated a phonics-based approach known as the science of reading, moving away from methods that encouraged kids to guess words from context rather than decode them from letters. The second finding is striking because it means there's an actual fix, and some states have found it. The decline isn't inevitable, it's a choice that shows up in curriculum decisions. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark might have been the book that made me love reading. It was a Scholastic Book Fair pickup. Something about those stories at exactly the right age made reading feel like something that could reach into your nervous system and do something. That's what a book is supposed to do. So what's the first book that made you actually love reading? Not the one you were supposed to love, the one that actually got to you.
From A Apple to Z Zebra, Baby's first pop-up book is 26 pages of alphabetic adventure.
Bart, you mean to tell me you read a book intended for preschoolers?
Well, most of it.
New research published this week in the American Journal of Sociology tracks how college-educated fathers changed their time use between the 5 years ending in 2019 and the 5 years ending in 2024. The numbers are the most significant shift in household labor data in decades. See, college-educated dads boosted time spent on housework and childcare by more than 5 hours per week, while reducing paid work hours by 6. As the researchers put it, in this group of college-educated men with children, we're seeing closer to a one-for-one substitution of less paid work with more housework, which is novel. He added women really changed their behavior over the decades leading up to the pandemic, but now this kind of shift in household priorities seems to be driven by the men. The broader context really matters here. Women's labor force participation among prime age workers is near a record high. More young women are graduating college than men. The workforce has shifted in ways that make the old dad earns, mom manages the home model simply not match economic reality for most households. What the new data suggests is that educated fathers are actually restructuring their lives around that reality rather than just watching it happen. The story profiled one specific dad that I want to mention because it's a good example of how this actually plays out. Tom Knight, age 41 from Brooklyn, now handles 80 to 90% of childcare and household responsibilities after becoming a stay-at-home dad 3 years ago. He'd worked as a product manager at tech companies for 15 years. He was laid off when his employer was acquired, and he and his wife decided to let go of their nanny. Probably the deciding factor was that she enjoyed her job more than I enjoyed my job, is what he said. That's a pretty honest way to make a pretty significant life decision. Women continue to do more in the home, but it's getting closer. And I want to add that closer covers a wide range of situations. The averages are moving. Individual households are all over the map. And the question of how you actually decide who does what without it becoming a source of ongoing low-grade conflict is one that almost every household with 2 working adults is figuring out in real time. How do you divide things up in your household, and how did you land on whatever arrangement you have? Did you sit down and talk about it explicitly, or did it just sort of evolve? And is the current arrangement actually working?
Looks like you've been missing a lot of work lately.
I wouldn't say I've been missing it, Bob.
Good one.
Oh, that's terrific, Peter.
A new study published in JAMA Network Open examined data on more than 76 million American children between 2000 and 2021. Approximately 15% of American children, over 11 million, had a family member who was criminally charged within the last 5 years. The rate has been rising sharply. In 2000 and 2001, 6.6% of children had a family member criminally charged. By 2019, that number had nearly tripled to 19.6%. That's not a small shift. That's a structural change in the relationship between American families and the criminal justice system over just one generation. The researchers are careful to note that even lower-level contact with criminal justice, not conviction, not incarceration, just arrest or charge, is associated with significant downstream harm for children. It's linked to stigma, mental health struggles, employment and educational disruptions for the parent, and loss of housing or public benefits, all of which directly affect the children in the household. The study doesn't break down cause and effect cleanly, and I'm not going to pretend it does. Criminal charges happen for a lot of different reasons and in a lot of different family contexts, and the same charge can mean very different things depending on circumstances. What the data shows is that more American kids are growing up with the criminal justice system as a presence in their lives than at any other point in the data, and that presence, regardless of the underlying cause, tends to produce measurable harm for the kids. This is a significant underreported public health issue that affects how kids develop, how they do in school, and what they go on to do as adults. So has the criminal system touched your family in a way that affected how you grew up? I'm asking because this data is about 11 million real children with real experiences.
Take him away, boys.
Hey, I'm the chief here. Take him away, toys.
What'd you say, Chief?
If you want a story with real historical stakes, the Titanic series on Side Quests is running now. 10 episodes, free condensed version for everybody. Full extended cut for paid subscribers. If you want to help keep both feeds going, the Substack subscription is how to do it. Find SideQuests wherever you get your podcasts, or just visit newsidequest.com. A museum-owned Kit from Knight Rider replica received an actual speeding ticket. The car, which is on display but was being transported on a trailer, was apparently flagged by a speed camera while in transit. The car, famous for traveling at superhuman speeds, has been cited for doing exactly that, which feels like a victimless irony. At least it was only a speeding ticket, and no one tried to turbo boost over a traffic jam. A Zoltar fortune-telling machine at a Michigan arcade correctly predicted a winning Powerball number, leading the player to win a significant prize. Zoltar, for those who don't know, is the fortune-telling machine from the 1988 Tom Hanks film Big. It is in fact a fortune-telling machine, and predicting things is the job. The real question is why we don't consult Zoltar more regularly.
This is Tom Hanks saying, if you see me in person, please leave me be.
A restaurant in China has implemented a vomit fee for customers who overeat at its all-you-can-eat buffet. The fee is designed to discourage patrons from consuming beyond capacity. The enforcement challenge is obvious. Specifically, how do you determine who is responsible when multiple parties had access to the same general area? This is a liability question that I'd like to see litigated.
It was actually someone else's vomit. It's not. Exactly. There's no real.
Well, they can't prove whose vomit it was. They don't have facilities in Scotland Yard to print.
You can't really dust for vomit.
A large fertilizer spill closed a Pennsylvania highway and created what reporters described as an extremely unpleasant commute. The cleanup was extensive. The smell was reportedly worse. Biff Tannen was unavailable for comment.
Bernard! I hate Bernard!
That's it for News Side Quest. 3 questions out there. The first book that actually made you love reading, how you decide things in your household and how you landed there, and whether the criminal justice system touched your family growing up in a way that shaped you. Email me at newssidequest@gmail.com or hit me up in the Substack comments. See you tomorrow.